Good morning, Devils fans. It is September 1st, which means we are actually getting some Devils hockey this month. Even if it's going to be games that don't ultimately count in the grand scheme of things, it is still going to be Devils hockey. So I'm going to take today's episode to basically recap what I've already gone over back in episode 19 when we first learned about all of the different training camp, prospect tournament, preseason, etc. dates. So I figured this would be a good time to do a refresher, given it is now the month of September and these dates are coming up. So if you want to mark it on your calendar, the first thing to look forward to is going to be in less than 2 weeks, and that is going to be training camp starting September 13th for rookies. We will touch on it a bit more, but a week after that, vets will be coming in. But first up is September 13th with the rookies. So that is a few days where they will be in camp. I'm sure we'll get plenty of media coverage. It'll be Luke will probably be the star of that. We will also get Nemec in there as well. So that should provide some great content for us to follow. Check out what the guys have been up to all summer outside of, some of the pieces that have already come out with Luke involved, obviously. But a couple days after that, on September 15th, we will get the prospect tournament that is hosted by Buffalo. That's going to run from September 15th to September 18th. The teams involved are obviously the New Jersey Devils, Buffalo Sabres, and then the Boston Bruins, Montreal Canadiens, Ottawa Senators, and Pittsburgh Penguins. So we don't end up actually playing against Pittsburgh or Montreal, given that it's 3 days and how many teams are involved. Instead, our first game is September 15th at noon against the Ottawa Senators. Obviously, all these times are going to be Eastern Standard. It will be very fascinating to watch. Luke and Nemec should be involved with this. We should have a pretty stacked blue line, but I find it highly unlikely that we will see like Holtz necessarily involved. But should still be really great. I don't know if Amiaho is going to make his way back over for this or not. I would hope so. I think that would be great for him and the team as well, because he has been crushing it overseas if you've not been following that. But then to continue on with the tournament, the very next day, we play Buffalo at 7 o'clock that Saturday, September 16th. We then get a one-day break for a 10 a.m. Monday game, September 18th versus the Boston Bruins and their prospects. We then likely will get a couple-day break, as coming in on September 20th will be the vets. For the prospect tournament, though, there's multiple ways you're going to be able to watch that. NewJerseyDevils.com should have a live stream of the whole thing. Should also be able to watch streaming through Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. So basically, any social media of your choice. And if you don't use any of those social medias at all, NewJerseyDevils.com should have it for you. Now, I don't know if tickets are sold out yet or not, but they did become available back in August for $10 through the Sabres. So if you do have interest in traveling up to Buffalo and going to watch those games, go for it. I remember, I think it was Nico's rookie year. This was not so widely streamed at all. We actually had a buddy of ours who streamed it through Periscope for us, and were able to watch as much as we could through the pixelated stream of Periscope for that. A guy here in Jersey drove up, stayed there for a couple days to do the prospect tournament, so that was awesome to see there. Obviously, very grateful to have all these streaming options now available to us. So back to training camp. Like I said, rookies report Wednesday, September 13th. 1 week later, we get the vets. So it's going to be September 15th, and we'll probably get 14th with the rookies as well. Prospect tournament 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, where we don't play on the 17th, so that'll be a bit of a lull. Then they will travel back on the 19th, and then vets report on September 20th. We'll then get multiple days of a full-on training camp with the full roster, plus some prospects, rookies in there, and I'm sure some of them might be sent home right away, but unlikely, as coming up on September 25th, Monday, we will get the split squad games for our first preseason game. All of these games in the preseason are at 7 o'clock Eastern. For the split squad, we have our home game versus Philadelphia and our road squad versus Montreal. For those that aren't aware of this, it's going to be our full vet roster plus prospects, rookies, and everything in between are going to go full split. So that's why you are very unlikely to see any major cuts, if any, leading up to this, as you need as many bodies as you can going split squad. And they will play both games simultaneously. So that will be fun to try and watch both of those. I might watch one and then catch the other one afterwards, either that night or morning, or next morning. And then usually a pretty heavy amount of cuts come in right after that split squad game. Because then September 28th, that Thursday, we have a road game versus the Rangers, as you only get one split squad game, that first one. And then you really start cutting down on the roster. You'll see a lot more of guys that are fighting for spots compared to actual starters. I'm sure we will get some line mix-ups in trying to key in down on who our starting lineups are going to be. We know essentially who our top 6 is. The only spot there is going to be just between likely Holtz and Mercer. Edge going to Mercer, obviously. And then just who those lines end up shaking out to be. Is it my prediction of Brat, Jack, Toffoli, Timo, Nico, Mercer? Are we going to get a Brat, Jack, Mercer line? Are we going to get a Timo, Jack, Mercer line? A Timo, Jack, Brat line? It's a lot of different combos, so I'm sure they will take these games to figure it out. And they'll have plenty of chances to do it, as 2 days after, Saturday, September 30th, we got another road game over in Philly. 2 days later, Monday, October 2nd, home at the New York Islanders. Then Wednesday, October 4th, home at versus the Rangers. And then Friday, October 6th, the last preseason game on the road versus the New York Islanders. So we got quite a bit of content coming up at the end of this month, less than 2 weeks. So to a quick recap, we got September 13th training camp rookies reporting. We'll get content likely there and possibly some on the 14th. September 15th through 18th, with an off day for us on the 17th, is going to be the prospect tournament. Game at noon on the 15th, 7 o'clock on the 16th, and then 10 a.m. Monday the 18th. We then will get a likely couple day break before vets report to training camp along with everybody else on September 20th. We'll then get multiple days of content from that through Wednesday, Thursday, probably Friday. They might take the weekend off, or probably just one of those days, before we get into preseason. Split squad September 25th, all games 7 o'clock that Monday, and all preseason games. Thursday, September 28th, Saturday, September 30th, and then into October, Monday, October 2nd, October 4th, and October 6th. And then, like I discussed yesterday, we have our regular season games starting up right after that, where finally we will get games that actually matter. So I am very much looking forward to the regular season, obviously, but I am itching to get into some of these prospect and training camp type coverage. That is going to do it for today's episode. Unless something else comes out, we'll probably jump back into my Spotlight series, given news is probably likely to start. But again, 1st of September, we got hockey this month. Had to go back over this for everyone that wasn't watching back at episode 19. Do it for today. It is Friday. Let's get through the rest of this work day and into the weekend. I will see everyone tomorrow morning as always, and forever. Let's go Devils.